Uncommon right now to find somebody who has paid maybe $60,000 or $65,000 for a very high-end pickup truck. Well, even the average pickup truck now is going to be crossing over that $50,000 barrier.
Automakers don't want you to know. 9 trucks were built so tough, they destroy the idea of planned obsolescence. These aren't just vehicles, they're lifelines. The difference between driving worry-free for decades or watching your savings vanish in repairs. And the clock's ticking, because clean examples of these legends are disappearing fast. Which 9 trucks made the cut? Why do they keep going when others collapse? And how do you grab one before the market drives them out of reach? Ford Ranger? Some trucks earn their stripes with flashy advertisements and endless chrome, but others quietly prove themselves on the road, in the field, and down the backcountry trail. The Ford Ranger, particularly the generation produced from the model year 1998 through the model year 2011, belongs to that second category. Modest in size yet mighty in reputation, this compact pickup carved out a legacy that continues to endure. The Ranger became the go-to choice for drivers who wanted an affordable truck that simply refused to quit. Under the hood, 3 main engines defined this long-running generation. At the entry level sat the 2.3-liter Duratec 4-cylinder engine, a lightweight and durable choice for daily commuting and light hauling. Stepping up from there, many buyers opted for the 3.0-liter Vulcan V6 engine, an almost agricultural workhorse with a design lineage stretching back to the 1980s. Sitting at the top of the range was the 4.0-liter Cologne 5.6 engine, a power plant built in Germany that gave the Ranger enough strength to tackle heavier loads and steeper climbs while still delivering longevity. None of these engines relied on complicated systems or delicate electronics. Instead, they offered straightforward mechanical dependability, the kind that made mechanics smile when they saw one drive into the shop. Historically, the Ford Ranger filled a crucial gap in the market when full-size trucks like the Ford F-150 and Chevrolet Silverado grew larger and more expensive, giving buyers a smaller, affordable alternative. Landscapers, utility companies, and families relied on it. While many teenagers learned to drive behind its wheel, stories of Rangers passing 200,000 or 300,000 miles are common, with maintenance as simple as oil changes, timing parts, and rust checks. Even today, over a decade after production ended, they remain approachable bargains, affordable, easy to repair, with plentiful parts and driveway-friendly service. The Ford Ranger from 1998 through 2011 stands as proof that reliability does not need to be complicated or expensive. It represents an era when trucks were built for hard use and long lives, not just showroom appeal. And as we turn the page from this compact stalwart, it is time to step up into the world of a half-ton powerhouse. A Chevrolet Phi 8 legend that combined muscle with mile-crushing dependability. Chevrolet Silverado 1500. When it comes to half-ton American pickups that can shoulder the load year after year, few names carry as much weight as the Chevrolet Silverado 1500. The generation built from the model year 1999 through the model year 2006, known by enthusiasts as the General Motors Truck 800 platform, has earned its stripes as one of the most dependable and longest-lasting pickups ever produced on North American soil. These trucks were everywhere when new, and because millions were sold, they remain a common sight today. What sets them apart is not just how many were built, but how many are still running strong with high mileage and plenty of life left. At the heart of this generation lies the engine that made its reputation, the 5.3-liter Vortec 5.8. This small block engine design, often referred to by its code LM7, was a masterpiece of simple yet robust engineering. It produced ample horsepower for towing, hauling, and highway cruising, yet its internals were built to withstand neglect and still keep going. Owners often report surpassing 200,000 miles, 300,000 miles, and in some rare but celebrated cases, even 400,000 miles with only routine maintenance. The key to its success was the durability of the bottom end, the reliability of the sequential fuel injection system, and the accessibility of parts. Mechanics loved these engines because they were straightforward to service, and drivers loved them because they just worked. The Silverado 1500 from this era stood out with its stout frame, torsion bar front suspension for comfort, and rear leaf springs that hauled loads with ease. Though rust-prone rocker panels were a known flaw, it became the backbone of American life. Farmers pulled equipment, crews worked rough sites, and families used it as a multi-purpose hauler, with trims ranging from simple work trucks to luxury editions. Even decades later, it remains attractive thanks to cheap, abundant parts and easy repairs, making it one of the most budget-friendly trucks to keep running reliably today. This model proves that buying a half-ton, done does not have to mean constant repair bills or mechanical headaches. Instead, it shows what happens when a truck is built to a standard of durability first and foremost. And while the Silverado carved out its reputation with a dependable V8, our countdown now takes a turn toward the blue oval side of the spectrum, where an inline-six engine from the 1990s became legendary for surviving abuse that would send other engines to the scrapyard. Before we reveal the next unstoppable truck, here's your chance to never miss a deal again. Hit subscribe right now, because every day we uncover hidden legends most buyers overlook. Ford F-150. Every so often, a vehicle earns a reputation so solid that it becomes more than just a truck. It becomes a legend whispered about in garages, farmyards, and construction sites. That is exactly what happened with the Ford F-150 produced between the model years 1992 and 1996, particularly when equipped with the 4.9-liter inline-six engine, known affectionately as the old body style, or OBS, among enthusiasts. This generation represented the end of an era when Ford trucks were designed to be brutally simple, exceptionally tough, and nearly unkillable. The star of this show is the 4.9-liter inline-six power plant, also called the 300 cubic inch straight six. This engine was not built for speed or flashy numbers on paper. Instead, it was crafted with agricultural toughness in mind. The long stroke design delivered impressive torque at low revolutions per minute, making it a dream for hauling heavy trailers, pulling stumps, or climbing hills with a load of gravel in the bed. Its architecture was straightforward: cast iron block, cast iron head, simple electronic fuel injection in later years, and minimal electronics to complicate things. As a result, the engine was famous for lasting 200,000 miles, 300,000 miles, or even 500,000 miles with only basic upkeep like oil changes, spark plugs, and cooling system attention. Trucks from this era were remembered for their toughness, with strong frames, durable axles, and simple interiors that could withstand years of heavy use. Owners often recalled how dependable they were, starting even on the coldest mornings and carrying on like true workhorses. During the 1990s, these models became a common sight across towns and cities, trusted by ranchers, electricians, and families alike. Affordable parts and easy repairs helped them remain practical long after leaving the showroom. Even with the usual concerns of rust or wear, their overall resilience ensured they earned a reputation as nearly indestructible machines that delivered dependable service for decades. Today, these F-150 pickups from 1992 through 1996 are considered classics. Enthusiasts seek them out for restoration, while practical buyers still put them to work on farms, ranches, and rural roads. They embody a philosophy of design that prioritizes durability over everything else. And as we leave behind the story of this iron-hearted inline-six, we turn our eyes toward the heavy-duty world of General Motors, where a diesel V8 engine, known as the Duramax LBZ, transformed the 3/4-ton and 1-ton pickups into some of the most coveted long-haul machines in the modern era. GMC Sierra 2500 Heavy Duty. Some trucks are remembered not just for their rugged appearance, but for the unmatched confidence they inspire when a heavy trailer is hooked to the hitch. The GMC Sierra 2500 Heavy Duty, built during the model years 2006 and 2007, holds a very special place in the hearts of diesel enthusiasts because it was equipped with the Duramax LBZ engine, one of the most celebrated diesel power plants of the modern era. The Duramax LBZ was a 6.6-liter turbocharged diesel V8 that represented the sweet spot of design, coming after earlier versions that had their share of teething problems and arriving just before emissions equipment became far more complicated. The LBZ blended durability with modern refinement. Factory horsepower was rated at a little over 300, while torque pushed past 600 pound-feet. Numbers that at the time placed it right at the top of the heavy-duty pickup market. But beyond the impressive figures, the real magic of the LBZ was its ability to take punishment while still running reliably for hundreds of thousands of miles. The Sierra 2500 Heavy Duty earned its reputation by proving it could handle enormous workloads year after year without giving in. Owners regularly praised its ability to tow heavy trailers, haul demanding loads, and still provide a comfortable ride when the workday ended. These trucks became favorites on farms, construction sites, and in small businesses because they combined strength with long-term dependability. Many examples remained in service for decades, supported by straightforward upkeep and affordable parts. Without unnecessary complexity, the Sierra became known as a truck that could be trusted in nearly any situation, making it a true icon of reliability and endurance for hardworking drivers everywhere. The legacy of the 2006 and 2007 Sierra 2500 Heavy Duty is so strong that used examples with high mileage mileage still command premium prices. Enthusiasts search them out specifically, willing to pay more for a clean LBZ-powered truck than for newer models with higher horsepower ratings but more complicated emission systems. This demand speaks volumes about the trust drivers place in the LBZ's proven endurance. Leaving behind the roaring diesel of General Motors, our next stop in this countdown takes us into the world of Dodge, where a gasoline-powered V8 known as the Magnum earned a reputation for simple strength and everyday dependability that has kept countless Ram trucks running long after others were retired. Dodge Ram 1500. Some pickups capture attention the moment they roll onto the scene, and the Dodge Ram 1500 that debuted in the mid-1990s did exactly that. Its bold styling, with a big rig-inspired front end and muscular stance, marked a complete departure from the conservative truck designs of previous decades. Yet what truly secured this generation's reputation was not just its looks, but the heart beating under the hood. The 5.9-liter Magnum V8 engine, produced between the model years 1994 and 2001. This truck became a symbol of everyday American durability, mixed with raw V8 strength. The 5.9-liter Magnum helped shape the Dodge Ram 1500 into one of the most memorable trucks of its time, not because of impressive figures on paper, but because of the way it performed in everyday life. Owners discovered that these trucks could be trusted for the toughest jobs, from hauling supplies to carrying families on long trips, all while showing resilience that few rivals could match. Many examples stayed on the road for decades with only routine care, thanks to affordable parts and straightforward upkeep. With bold styling, comfortable interiors, and versatile options, the Ram became a symbol of durability, personality, and true American dependability. Of course, like any truck, it had its weak points. Automatic transmissions of the era sometimes required rebuilds if towing loads exceeded their limits, and rust could eat away at wheel arches in northern climates. Yet the backbone of the truck, the 5.9 Magnum engine, remained steadfast. Mechanics often joked that the engine would keep running even if neglected, though careful owners who followed proper schedules discovered just how immortal it could be. Even decades after the last of these Rams rolled off the line in 2001, clean examples still attract attention. Enthusiasts search them out because they embody the rugged charm of the 1990s pickup era, while practical buyers appreciate that they can still be purchased for reasonable money and driven home with confidence. And as we leave behind the roar of Dodge's legendary Magnum V8, we now journey into the domain of Ford's Super Duty lineup, where a diesel known as the 7.3-liter Power Stroke carved its name into the history books as perhaps the most beloved heavy-duty engine of all time. Ford F-250 and F-350 Super Duty. In the late 1990s, Ford unleashed a truck that would come to define what heavy-duty really meant for an entire generation of drivers. The Ford F-250 and Ford F-350 Super Duty models, built between the model years 1999 and 2003, equipped with the 7.3-liter Power Stroke diesel engine, are remembered today as nearly indestructible machines. For many owners, these trucks were more than just vehicles. They were long-term investments, partners in business, and dependable companions capable of handling enormous workloads. The 7.3-liter Power Stroke, introduced in the late 1990s, earned its legendary reputation by combining simplicity with unmatched endurance. It quickly became the engine of choice for drivers and fleets that demanded a truck able to work hard every single day without complaint. Stories spread of these trucks traveling hundreds of thousands of miles while continuing to tow, haul, and serve businesses year after year. Owners valued the fact that upkeep was straightforward and parts were widely available, which kept costs manageable. Paired with a heavy-duty platform designed for strength, these Super Duty trucks became trusted companions that defined capability, toughness, and long-term dependability in the modern era. Perhaps what endears these trucks to enthusiasts even today is their blend of simplicity and power. Later diesel engines introduced more complicated emission systems and electronics, which often led to higher maintenance costs. The 7.3-liter Power Stroke sat at the perfect balance point, strong enough to do nearly anything, yet not weighed down by complexity. Even now, clean examples from the 1999 through 2003 period command high prices on the used market. Buyers know what they are getting. A truck that, with proper care, can continue working long after newer models have been retired. And now shifts gears to a different corner of General Motors history, where the squared-off GMT 400 pickups of the late 80s and 90s continue to prove that reliability and simplicity can make a truck timeless. Chevrolet C&K 1500. In the closing years of the 1980s, Chevrolet introduced a pickup that would shape the image of American workhorses for an entire decade. The Chevrolet C&K 1500, built from the model year 1988 through the model year 1998, carried the internal designation General Motors Truck 400. It is often celebrated as one of the most balanced pickups ever created, simple enough for a backyard mechanic to repair, comfortable enough for daily use, and tough enough to endure hundreds of thousands of miles. The Chevrolet C&K 1500 built its reputation on strength, dependability, and the ability to serve as both a hard-working tool and a comfortable everyday vehicle. Owners often recalled their trucks lasting for decades, covering hundreds of thousands of miles with nothing more than consistent attention and basic care. These pickups carried families on long road trips, hauled heavy loads for businesses, and stood ready for whatever task was required. Their balanced design combined rugged durability with everyday usability, making them beloved by farmers, contractors, and suburban households alike. In the 1990s, few vehicles symbolized versatility and reliability more than this generation of Chevrolet trucks. The cultural impact of the GMT 400 cannot be overstated. These trucks became fixtures in neighborhoods, on construction sites, and at boat ramps across America. They were versatile, affordable, and dependable, which is why so many survive to this day. The aftermarket support is enormous, with countless suppliers providing everything from replacement body panels to performance upgrades. For budget-minded buyers today, finding a well-maintained example represents one of the smartest used truck purchases possible. Of course, there were weaknesses. Rust could creep into cab corners and rocker panels, fuel pumps sometimes failed unexpectedly, and suspension components wore out under heavy use. Yet these problems were minor compared to the overall longevity of the truck, and nearly all of them could be solved quickly with affordable parts. Even decades after production ended in 1998, the Chevrolet C&K 1500 remains a beloved symbol of reliability. Drivers still praise them as trucks that can be bought inexpensively, repaired easily, and driven home with confidence. As we move away from Chevrolet's squared-shouldered classic, the countdown now shifts toward the diesel world once again, where Dodge's mighty 12-valve Cummins engine transformed heavy-duty Rams into million-mile machines and etched its name permanently into pickup history. Now you've seen why these trucks refuse to quit, but here's the deal. The real bargains disappear fast. Tap subscribe and turn on notifications so you're first to know when we spotlight the next million-mile machine. Don't just watch history, drive it. Your forever truck could be waiting tomorrow. Dodge Ram 2500 and Dodge Ram 3500. In the mid-1990s, Dodge transformed its reputation in the truck world almost overnight. The introduction of the redesigned Dodge Ram lineup in the model year 1994 was a bold move, with styling that resembled a semi-truck and performance that finally gave Dodge a contender against Ford and Chevrolet. But what truly cemented this truck's place in automotive history was not just the aggressive looks or comfortable cab. It was the legendary 5.9-liter, 12-valve Cummins diesel engine that powered the heavy-duty Dodge Ram 2500 and Dodge Ram 3500 models. This power plant is often spoken of with reverence, and for good reason. It combined tractor-like simplicity with jaw-dropping durability. The Cummins 12-valve earned its legendary reputation not from flashy specifications, but from a reputation for sheer toughness and reliability. Owners across the country proudly share stories of their trucks lasting decade after decade, often working harder and longer than anyone expected. Farmers used them to pull livestock trailers through muddy fields. Construction crews relied on them daily to haul equipment, and snowplow operators trusted them in the harshest winters. What stood out most was the engine's ability to keep running with only the simplest care, turning these Dodge Ram 2500 and 3500 models into icons of unstoppable endurance and unmatched work capability. Critics at the time pointed out weak spots in automatic transmissions, which sometimes struggled under the relentless torque of the Cummins. Many owners either maintained them meticulously or swapped in stronger gearboxes. But once that issue was addressed, there was little else to complain about. The manual 5-speed and later 6-speed transmissions paired beautifully with the diesel, giving drivers precise control and long life. Even today, enthusiasts and collectors scour classifieds for clean examples of 1994 through 1998 Dodge Ram heavy-duty trucks with the 12-valve Cummins. Prices remain high because demand demand for these machines has never waned. They are viewed not merely as trucks, but as long-term investments that can still outwork many brand-new models. What made these trucks unforgettable was the confidence they inspired. Owners knew they could rely on them in any season, on any terrain, and for any job. Whether crossing states with heavy trailers or serving faithfully on farms, the 12-valve Cummins created a bond of absolute trust between machine and driver. As we prepare to crown the #1 slot in this countdown, we leave behind Dodge's iron-hearted Cummins and journey back to Ford's stable. There, an earlier diesel engine, predating the Power Stroke name, proved that simplicity and mechanical toughness could create a truck so reliable that rust was usually the only opponent strong enough to end its service. Toyota Hilux. Finishing our countdown is a truck that has become almost mythical in its reputation for toughness, the Toyota Hilux. Produced from the model year 1984 through the model year 1995, this compact pickup has earned its place at the very top of the list because it is known around the world as the truck that simply refuses to die. While other manufacturers boasted about durability, Toyota quietly built the Hilux to a standard so high that it has been tested in every environment imaginable: jungles, deserts, mountain ranges, and frozen tundra, and emerged victorious. The Toyota Hilux of this era featured engines like the 2.4-liter 22R gasoline and the 2.8-liter diesel, modest in power but legendary in endurance, with many surpassing 300,000, 400,000, or even 500,000 miles through basic maintenance. Its ladder frame, stout axles, and simple suspension let it endure overloading and punishing terrain, serving farmers, contractors, and explorers worldwide. Beyond mechanics, it became a global icon of toughness, famously surviving televised attempts at destruction, from drowning to fire and collapse, cementing its place as a cultural legend of durability. Even today, decades after the last model of this era rolled off the line in 1995, demand for clean Hilux examples remains high. Collectors seek them out for restoration, while practical buyers know they can still count on a Hilux to provide reliable service at a fraction of the cost of newer trucks. The aftermarket is strong, replacement parts are widely available, and the simple design ensures that these trucks can be maintained without sophisticated equipment. Beyond its mechanical toughness, the Hilux inspired unmatched trust, often becoming part of family histories and community stories. Many owners passed their trucks down through generations, confident they would continue to perform. This sense of permanence gave the Hilux a cultural weight few vehicles ever achieve, strengthening its legendary status worldwide. The Toyota Hilux from 1984 through 1995 stands as the ultimate proof that true reliability transcends generations. It is not just a pickup, it is a global workhorse, a survival tool, and a legend that continues to inspire respect. For all of these reasons, the Toyota Hilux rightfully claims the #1 position in the lineup of trucks that never break down and can be driven forever. You've just seen 9 trucks that prove not all machines are created equal. These legends weren't built for trends, they were built for lifetimes. But here's the truth: finding them today is harder than ever, and the best examples disappear fast. That's why this channel exists, to show you exactly where to look, what to avoid, and how to spot your forever truck before someone else does. So if you're ready to own a piece of automotive immortality, hit subscribe, tap the bell, and join us, because the next legend could be waiting in your driveway tomorrow.